Welcome to the program Power to Unite with Elvira. Nagpapasalamat ang program ng Power to Unite kasi po andito po ngayon tayo sa Vientiane, Laos kung saan po nakadaupalad po natin ang Philippine Ambassador na walang iba kundi si Ambassador Belinda Ante. Siya po ang Philippine Ambassador to the People's Democratic Republic. Ano kaya ang kanyang role dito? Ano kaya ang kanyang contribution dito? Siya po ang subaybayan ninyo sa pagbabalik ng Power to Unite with Elvira. Your Excellency, Ambassador Belinda Ante. Kayo po ang Philippine Ambassador to the People's Democratic Republic, di ba? So, ilan pong taon na kayo dito?
Well, dumating po ako dito nung March 2015. So, mga 2 taon na po ako dito sa Laos ngayon.
Alam mo, 58 years ngayon ng ASEAN. And I'm very happy to say na itong napili natin maging unang venue na makadaupalad ang Philippine Ambassador. Kasi po, when you talk about Laos, walang nakakaintindi sa ating bansa. Ano ba meron doon? Normally, ang alam ng lahat, pumunta ng Thailand, ng Cambodia, ng Vietnam, Indonesia. Pero Laos, mukhang nasa dulong-dulo siya ng awareness ng mga kapwa Pilipino natin. Kaya, I think this is a good chance for you to also to let us know what you have been doing, how challenging is the work here, di ba? At paano natin matutulungan magkaroon ng magandang relasyon between Philippines and Laos. Pero before we go into that, kasi alam ko po, isang malaking hamon po sa inyong kakayahan yan bilang Philippine Ambassador at hindi madali maging isang ambassador. Ang connotation, karamihan ng ating mga teleview, ay naku, ma-ambassador, walang ginawa kundi uminom, mag-toast, mag-ano. Hindi ganon. They don't realize na karamihan sa inyo, lalo na mga career, ay pinaghirapan yan. Ilang taon nyo yan pinag-aralan, may training yan, may protocol yan. It's not easy to be an ambassador. Ako po, witness po dyan, alam ko po yan, di ba? Your Excellency. Tapos, ambassador, no? Bago mo napili maging ambassador, ano ba talagang unang love mo to become one day? Did you dream to be an ambassador ever since?
Sa totoo po niyan, no? I did not plan to become a foreign service officer. I was working in another government agency. You see, I'm a strategic analyst. I love analyzing the geopolitical situation. And in a sense, the job of being a foreign service officer just fell into my lap. I saw during the time I took the Foreign Service Officers exam, wala pa yung mga one-page spread. Ano pa, ito sa ilang inches lang na notice that Foreign Service Officers exams are being given. And in fact, ang nag-udyok sa akin kumuha ng exam, yung mga office mates ko nga. So, I took it, I passed it, and that's it. So, there was no plan to become Foreign Service Officer, to join. Yes. Parang
pinili kayo ng Diyos na makatulong sa ating bansa bilang ambassador. So dito ba, nag-aral ka rin? O you just, when you took exam, that's it? O may training? Paano itong ginawa mo?
The thing is, you take the exam first.
Okay.
And then when you pass, you have to take a 1-year, they call it a cadetship program. I was with the first batch na nagkuha ng cadetship program. That's you're taught on all of the intricacies of diplomacy and everything. So protocol, ganon. It's like kasi noon you just pass the exam and then you're asked to work. That's it. You learn on the job. Dito ngayon, there's a little preparation naman na binibigay sa inyo.
So, kaya may mga eskwelahan, university na nag-o-offer ng foreign service course.
Yes,
tama?
there are. But, anyone who is a college graduate can take the Foreign Service Officer's exam. For instance, I am an economist. And any course, it doesn't have to be foreign service. Anyone who wants to become a Foreign Service Officer can take the exam.
So, nung naging ambassador ka na dito. So, anong unang post mo dito? Ano yung mga ginagawa mo?
Well, of course, before I arrived, I had to study about the country. Ngayon, tama ho yung sinabi nyo. Maski na sa atin, very few people know 𝗨PDR. It's because siguro, wala akong direct flight dito eh. No, it's a landlocked country, although now they say it's land-linked. In fact, ang daming nagtatanong sa akin pag tinanong ako, saan ka ba assigned? Sabi ko, sa 𝗣𝘃. Saan yan? Sa Middle East or something? It's in
Yes.
it's in Europe.
Yes.
Which is very strange because Laos is one of the ASEAN countries.
Yes.
No? And I think because of that, I resolved to get to know the country para pagtanungin naman ako, may masasabi naman ako. Now, siguro naman ho, you've been around here for some
Short
time.
times, yeah.
And you will find that Laos is still on the cusp of development. And they're developing very, very fast.
Okay.
They're developing very fast. When I first arrived, there was no traffic whatsoever here in 𝗣𝘃. But now I think you notice it's horrible. No, it can get very bad. And that's what I would like them to learn. Because you see, Laos is one of the last, you can call it one of the last bastions of what is natural about Southeast Asia. And if they develop too fast, they might become like, Manila, with all of the traffic and the pollution and everything. They will have to develop. They have to develop along with the rest of the world, and we cannot begrudge them that. But I do hope that they can develop in a more sustainable manner, because Laos is a very beautiful country.
Yes.
It's full of greenery and all that. It's also one of the few countries where they put a lot of you notice, you go around, the people still wear the traditional scene, right? The traditional clothes. And in other countries of ASEAN,
nawawala na.
And I hope that that while they do develop, they still put more attention to preserving the culture.
Tama po yung observation nyo. Pero maganda nga pag-usapan Laos later on. Pero what I would like to know, how long have you been with the Foreign Service na?
Oh, I've been with the Foreign Service since 1993.
24 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 24
Over
years.
20 years.
So, it's not only itong pinaka-latest mong assignment, di ba?
Yes.
Prior to that, anong bansa ang napuntahan mo?
Well, my first post was in Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Yes, that was the year before they became a member of ASEAN.
Okay.
And then after that, I've been to Moscow, Russia, which I think was one of the most interesting posts also. And after that, I determined that, I had no consular experience whatsoever. And I wanted to, of course, in order to be well-rounded, hindi ka sa what you call a political post all the time. So I had to go to a consulate, Saipan. And then, now I'm here.
So, kailangan you go around, no?
Yes,
so, kasi
yes.
magandang training yun. You started
Yes,
with
yes.
this one para maintindihan mo bago ka maging ambassador. Kailangan ikutin mo lahat yan. Itutuloy po namin na aming magandang discussion sa pagbabalik po ng Power Tonight with Elvira.
Ako po si Johnny Gomez ng SOS, Serbisyo Ora Mismo Sigurado. Manood po kayo dito sa ating malayang talakayan, dito sa ating masiglang usapan. Tandaan po ninyo, layunin natin ang maiangat ang kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan sa katwiran at karapatan. Nationwide and worldwide, mapapanood at mapakikinggan sa DZRJ 8:10 AM ang Radyo Bandido TV.
Watch and listen to SOS, Servicio Ora Mismo Sigurado, Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Airing on Sky Cable Channel 224 and on all DTT boxes. Simulcasting online on Facebook and YouTube. Listen and watch on your mobile devices. Just search DZRJ Radio Bandido.
So, napaka-rich ng experience mo kasi sabi mo, you have been a consular first sa Saipan na alam natin medyo malayo yan. We will not talk politics about it, but just your personal experience, how does it enrich you to be what you are today? At paano nakatulong itong mga deep na experience mo sa Saipan, you know, sa Moscow, sa Myanmar, di ba? So first we talk about your consular experience.
The bulk of my consular experience was actually sa Saipan.
Okay.
No, kasi it was a consulate general. Now, it was challenging in the sense that that was the time when I went there, that was the time na naghigpit na ang US because it used to be a commonwealth under the US. Yes, along with Guam. And then they federalized the system. So noong una, any Filipino can just go there because we do have an agreement to go there. But nung nag-federalize na, alam mo naman yung US system, medyo kumonti na. And I think that was one of the reasons why the previous Secretary of Foreign Affairs decided to close the post.
So wala na siya.
Wala na ang Saipan. May mga Pilipino pa rin doon, but they are being taken care of by Guam. But at least when I was there, I was able to concentrate primarily on consular work.
So ang Saipan is near Guam, so it's just like an island. Ano
Yes,
ito,
it's
naval
an island.
base? O, kasi alam ko maraming mga...
No, it's not a name. It's a commonwealth.
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 Kasi alam ko maraming mga pumupunta doon, mga mga ship, mga navy, mga gano'n. Hindi
That is in
naman.
Guam. Hindi, yun na nga, they tried to do that, no, to expand the role of Saipan, pero masyadong maraming rocks. Very
so
rocky yung area.
yeah,
So they wanted to develop it as a port, pero hindi pwede, especially for
Ilang
big
taon
ships.
po kayo doon sa Saipan?
Strangely enough, I finished my 6 years there.
Wow, 6 years. Hindi kayo nalungkot doon kasi isang kalaban bilang isang career o foreign service mga pinapadala natin. Isang kalaban dito yung lungkot. Diba?
Yeah.
So you must be able to love your job kasi karamihan niya ang gusto nila. Karamihan pag dream of being posted sa Washington, sa Paris, sa Geneva.
the sexy posts.
Well, tapos ngayon, ikaw pinadala ka sa Saipan na hindi naman ito ang purse mo, di ba?
No.
So when you were there in Saipan, di ba? So hindi ka naman nagsabi, bakit dito ko pinapunta? How did you accept?
Pinili ko ang Saipan.
Okay.
I actually chose it. A lot of people were trying to get me not to because sabi nila, hindi ka pang consulate. Which is, I think, is wrong. Because as foreign service officer, you're supposed to be well-rounded.
Yes, tama.
I chose it precisely because I did not have any consular experience. That was when I discovered na I do have a certain common touch.
With people.
I can talk to them and, develop some sort of rapport. That is something I would never have experienced in any of the maybe other
As an ambassador, mas limitation na.
May limitations kasi ang what we call the diplomatic as opposed to the consular posts. But nonetheless, for me, there is no distinction because you continue to do, for instance, economic work and all that. So the things you do in an embassy, you also do in a consular post. It just so happens that a consular post is maybe there are more Filipinos, so you get to deal more with more Filipinos. My experience in Saipan helped me because when I came from Saipan back to the Department of Foreign Affairs, I was assigned to the Office of the Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs.
Okay.
So doon naman, I was able to learn assistance to nationals and all that because I had already experienced it firsthand. I think that's the biggest challenge kasi for all of the foreign service officers sa Department of Foreign Affairs. You have to be aware that you're constantly learning. Okay, you're constantly learning, constantly finding out new things and trying to adjust to how to handle all of these things.
So from Saipan, saan po kayo tumuloy? Nagbalik kayo sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
Saan kayo na-assign na ulit doon?
Dito na po.
Okay. Pero na-mention mo a while earlier, bago dito sa Laos, kasi sa part 2 nating pag-usapan yan, you love the post in Moscow. Diba?
Yes, it's what you call a primarily diplomatic post. I loved it in the sense that nahahasa kasi yung, how do I say it? Your strategic analytical skills. Because for me, that is my main
Role na
role.
pinag-aralan mo.
Yeah,
Yung trabaho mo
yes,
yun.
yes.
Oo.
And it helped because at the time when I was in Moscow, I had a lot of time actually. Sa totoo lang, hindi naman masyadong maraming trabaho because, oh no, maybe we shouldn't talk about this. More political than anything else.
Not political. Not political.
No,
No. Only the challenges na.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
because, at the time, medyo we were at the panig ng US.
Okay. So we will not
hindi
discuss that.
Yes.
Oo. I know it's a very sensitive question, but what I'm trying to ask you, since you love the post there, is very challenging, Now, it's different. The work that you have been going on is quite different, 'di ba? Tsaka alam natin, walang masyado pang Pilipino doon. So it's really purely work, quiet moments, 'di ba? So ito yung isang episode na kakaiba. Diba? But it enrich you, no?
Yes,
As a person.
yes.
Kasi kakaiba from, diba? From Moscow to Saipan. Iba-ibang nakukuha mo. May Myanmar, no? Bago Myanmar. So, Myanmar at that time is also nasa, sabihin natin, may problema din at that time, diba?
Well, it was not
But
so
it's a
much a
beautiful
problem.
country
Yes,
also.
because I arrived there, I think, at the right time. 1 year before they became a member of ASEAN, and then I left the year after. So naka 2 years na sila sa ASEAN, and I was able to witness the changes, yung gradual opening up of the economy. I like exotic posts na sinasabi because there is much to learn. Just like here in Laos, it's still one of the more exotic posts. It's very few people know about it, and in the process of learning, I'm able to tell people also na ganito pala yan, ganito. And maybe you would have discovered that the people in Laos are some of the nicest people in the world.
Yes.
They're very, very serene people, very. I wouldn't say simple because they're also complicated people, complicated by their history and all that. But still, one of the nicest and one of the people who you can say are still retaining the culture.
Yeah, here in Laos. But in Myanmar, because that will be your first assignment, no? Myanmar.
Yes. Myanmar is also, I think
yeah.
there is a similarity. You go to Myanmar and they still wear their long jeans.
Yeah, hanggang ngayon.
Yes, hanggang
no?
ngayon.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad because I remember not too long ago nung buhay pa yung lola ko, nagbabarot saya pa siya eh.
Yes,
But
yes.
now you cannot see that anymore. Nobody does it. Hopefully they will continue here. There's a problem there. I noticed our national dress is very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay? Here, they're already beginning to say that they can buy material cheaper imported from China. They're beginning to do that. And although they realize that they have to maintain their culture, in a sense, you cannot stop people from saying, this is all I can afford. It's very sad when our culture devolves into things like that.
Yeah. Alam mo, Your Excellency, tama ka. Maganda pag-usapan natin yung nawawala na yung kultura,
Yes.
no? Kasi the reason why I asked you a while ago, ano itong mga na-assign sa iyo, para for us to understand the kind of work you have been encountering, yung observation mo, na, as you said, we will not talk about politics here, but only how it enrich yourself, to your post. At the same time, ano itong mga challenge, ano itong mga natutunan natin na pwede natin i-share sa ating televiewers. So, itutuloy natin aming magandang discussion together with Her Excellency Ambassador Ante sa pagbabalik po ng Power to Unite with Elvira.
Ito po ang inyong kaibigan Jimmy Morato, nag-aanyaya sa inyo sa inyong palatuntunang 𝗨𝗃𝗃𝗵 mo baby. Dito pa rin sa inyong paboritong AM station sa buong Philippines at sa buong mundo, DZRJ 810 AM Radyo Bandido TV.
Watch and listen to 𝗨𝗶𝘄𝗲𝗵, Monday to Friday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Airing on Sky Cable Channel 224 and on all DTT boxes. Simulcasting online on Facebook and YouTube. Listen and watch on your mobile devices. Just search DZRJ Radio Bandido.
Your Excellency, napakaganda kanina ng sharing mo na yung based on your experience no, sa consular no, sa Saipan, tapos yung first post mo sa Myanmar, then tapos sa Russia, sa Moscow, tapos ngayon pinakalas natin as of now nasa Laos tayo, di ba? And then yung isang observation mo na nakita natin na yung like in Myanmar tsaka Laos, nakikita mo they still wear their traditional dress, which I agree with you na we witness ko na hindi dapat talaga mawala. Na-mention mo kanina, ang lola mo used to wear yung saya at baro, di ba? Ano tawag natin? Barot saya,
yes,
no?
yes.
And I also witnessed that kasi I remember dun sa Divisoria, nakikita natin, nagtitinda sila ng manganga, yung gano'n. Tapos, nakaganon sila matatanda. Tapos may yung niyog na, ano yung coco, something gano'n, di ba? So, meron pang ganon noon na nakasuot sila, pero ngayon wala na. Sayang kasi it's very important for a country to have an identity.
Yes.
Diba? So yung assessment mo that kailangan ma-retain certain traditional, ways of wearing our dress, napaka-important. Ano pa isang napapansin mo na will help you a lot or will help the Philippines a lot? How can we self-stock our country? Based sa experience na napapansin mo.
Well, what I said earlier about retaining our culture and whatever, that is an arguable point because people will say that we have to move with the times, and that is all for show anyway. No, it's a sad thing na nawawala, but maybe we can still continue in a way. But what I noticed, especially after having been abroad, I do not like the idea that Filipinos have to go out of the country in order to work. But I believe that this government is working on that so that eventually people will choose to go out of the country only because they want to rather than because they have to.
Yes.
But what I notice is that Filipinos, wherever they are all known for their work ethic.
Yeah.
And that is something that we can
Be
build
proud
on. We can be proud of. Whenever we have meetings with the Filipino community, for instance, I always keep on stressing that because it's important for us as Filipinos to be proud of who we are. Okay? Kaya nasasabing wala tayong sariling identity. Yung ibang Pilipino, parang kinahihiya pa nilang Pilipino sila. Why should we? We are very intelligent people.
Yes.
I noticed that the level of native intelligence, maski na naka-grade 3 lang siya or whatever, is very, very high. And we are becoming known for our service ethic. It's service to others. And people feel that our nurses, nafe-feel nila yan And that is where we can make a difference, I think, in this world. Because not only are we asserting ourselves, our true nature as Filipinos, we are also teaching others. So I think maybe, given the constraints and everything that we are under, that is one of the things we can start working on.
Napakaganda lang sharing mo, Your Excellency, Ambassador Ante. We should be proud that we are Filipinos regardless of what kind of works we are doing. Because without your knowing it, you are representing your country. Tama pong sabi ni Ambassador Ante, sana in the future wala na po aalis ng mga Pilipinos, na magtrabaho sa ibang bansa, kundi sana spend time with your family, di ba? Pero as of now, ang pwede po natin maipakita, i-showcase, kahit sabihin natin, wala na tayong makita traditional dress kasi we are really very westernized in our attitude, in our culture. Pero meron po tayo something na pwede natin ipakita, yung masinop na pagtatrabaho, di ba? And being an ambassador, naging very observant siya, no? So, itutuloy po namin ang aming magandang episode sa part 2. Subaybayan po niyo kami next week hanggang dito sa programa ng Power Tonight with Elvira.
Hi, I'm 𝗨𝗶𝘄𝗲𝗿. Join us on Healthline with 𝗏 as we discuss the latest health and medical topics with doctors from 𝗏. For a healthier and uplifting lifestyle, tune into Healthline with 𝗏 on DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido TV. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Watch and listen to Healthline with 𝗏 every Monday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Airing on Sky Cable Channel 224 and on all DTT boxes. Simulcasting online on Facebook and YouTube. Listen and watch on your mobile devices. Just search DZRJ Radio Bandido.
Welcome back to the program Power Tonight with Elvira. Andito na po tayo sa part 2 ng ating magandang interview together with Her Excellency Ambassador Belinda Ante. Siya po ang Philippine Ambassador to the Lao People's Democratic Republic. At sa part 1 na yan, kung sinubaybayan po ninyo, napakaganda ng kanyang sharing, ang kanyang mga assignment po sa 4 na bansa, Saipan, Myanmar, Moscow, at ngayon po sa Laos. At bawat isa ay may mga katangian siyang nakikitang maganda na without our knowing, it's not easy to be an ambassador, no? Makikita natin dito, marami din po dapat pag-aralan, di ba? Because you foster friendship and to improve relationship with one country to another. Kaya ngayon, ano na naman po kaya ang pag-uusapan namin? Siya po ang subaybayan ninyo sa pagbabalik ng Power Tonight with Elvira. Ambassador Ante, I know how busy you are, but anyway, thank you again, no, na pinaunlakan nyo na magkaroon pa tayo ng part 2 ng ating magandang interview kasi alam ko, hindi lang ako nabitin, pati ang mga televiewers nabitin because what you shared with us sa part 1, napaka-informative, di ba? So dito, marirealize nila, you also make them feel very proud, lalo na po sa mga Filipino migrants sa ASEAN countries. Now, being 50 years ng ASEAN, it's very important for us to know and understand our fellow, ASEAN countries. So, napakaswerte po ninyo sa totoo lang na na-assign po kayo dito sa Laos because Laos is part of ASEAN, di ba? At dun sa sharing mo, nasabi mo na one thing that makes you feel proud is that although sinabi mo na sana wala na mga Filipino workers na mag-abroad magtatrabaho sa abroad, pero you still feel proud na kung andun man sila nagtatrabaho, yung kanilang service ay something we are being proud of, di ba? Kahit na po alam natin, pagdating sa kultura, medyo nawawala na. Medyo pare-pareho na yun nangyari. Sa bilis ng panahon, yung kultura ng bawat isang bansa, medyo na-erode, no? Na sana ito ay hindi mangyari. Sana kahit paano ma-retain pa rin kasi we have to keep up with the change of time. Ano pa yung isang napapansin ninyo na sana yung wish mo in relation to our country, to the Filipinos, na sana yung dito sa Laos, is mabilis din ang development niya. Ano yung isang napapansin mo na pwede sana na maitulong natin sa kanila?
Laos po, last year was the chair of ASEAN. And I think it was a good thing na sila ang naging chair ng ASEAN kasi at least nakilala na. Marami tayong delegasyon from various departments na nakapunta dito. Nakilala nila. For most of them, first time nilang pumunta dito. And syempre, we took the opportunity na i-brief din naman sila tungkol dito sa Laos. And dun lang nila na-discover na marami-rami din namang Pilipino dito. Most of the Filipinos here, hindi ho masyadong marami, no? At the last count, mga 1,600 Filipinos lang. But that's all over Laos. Pero ang maganda po sa mga Pilipino dito is that they are all, let's say, in the higher-end jobs. Some of them are managers. Karamihan po, teachers. Doon ho tayo maraming natutulong sa kanila. A lot of the teachers here, especially in Vientiane, are Filipinos. So, kumbaga na-share natin yung galing natin sa English sa mga Pilipino dito. One thing, one area which I hope to be able to eventually help out with is in the health sector. The reason why we have very good relations with Laos is because during the maski na time of the Vietnam War, there was a group of Filipinos here. They call themselves the Operation Brotherhood.
Okay.
Yes. Filipino nurses, doctors, these were all volunteers who helped out. They were all over the country. There used to be a hospital here in Vientiane, even in Luang Prabang, in other far-flung provinces also, para tulungan. That was, I think, the very first example of Asians helping Asians. And siguro naman, since we started it, and a lot of especially the old folk, they still remember that. And, you know, in order to build on that, hopefully, maybe we can come to an arrangement where some of our health workers would be willing to come in, try to see what programs they could offer here.
So, nakita na natin, di ba, na you love your works, no? So, very observant ka na, nakita mo din, at napamahal sa iyo, no? Ng mga ginagawa mo. Have you ever, you know, in your life, no, sa 24 years sa career service, there is one moment na you want to give it up, nagsisi ka na bakit yung napili ko, or you become so frustrated na yung gusto mong gawin, hindi mo magawa. And what is the force that keeps you going on despite na kasi hindi naman lahat yes ng yes yan eh, na yung gusto mo, magagawa mo eh. Ano itong sa tingin mo, is your faith plays a very important role here for you to go on in spite of some disappointment?
Hindi naman natin matatanggal na every once in a while it gets very frustrating. You're dealing with the bureaucracy here, okay, no? But, you know, for me, it's a constant challenge working here, but it's also, it gives you the opportunity to learn, constantly learning and constantly building character. So, as the years go by, no, I discovered, I have a talent for this. I can use it here. There are things you did not know you had that all of a sudden just gets developed. And, for instance, managerial capacities, that is something that comes with time, which sometimes our more junior officers don't seem to realize. You have to learn things. Even getting along with people, gaining empathy and all that is something that has to be developed. And despite the difficulties, you know, I think I would not change my career for any other because it develops you in a very roundabout way. Eh? Mm-hmm. You know, you develop aspects of yourself you never thought you will.
Hi, I'm Mark Lopez and I'm inviting you to watch Pugad Bloggers, the show that tackles the latest issues in social media on DCRJ 8:10 AM Radyo Bandido TV.
Watch and listen to Pugad Bloggers, Monday to Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Airing on Sky Cable Channel 224 and on all DTT boxes. Simulcasting online on Facebook and YouTube. Listen and watch on your mobile devices. Just search DZRJ Radio Bandido.
Tama din na yung personality na na-develop sa inyo, you endure, which is quite different sa mga young ones ngayon na mga tinetrain ngayon. No? They thought it's a very nice and easy job na basta gusto ko lang pag foreign service ako, magiging ano na, yung too much in a hurry, na hindi dapat. Dapat kasi, kailangan ma-experience muna nila from the scratch, i-train sila dahan-dahan, tas umikot sa iba-ibang sector ng work, no, as a diplomat, for them to be well-rounded, di ba, bago sila maging ambassador. Yung iba, kahit walang experience, nagiging ambassador, tuloy minsan, hindi nila naala-ala, you represent your country. Di ba, the way you talk, the way your idea comes out, it represent Philippines in you. Kaya dapat talaga yan, gina-guide ang mga younger ones, di ba? So, in your relationship, no, kasi napansin ko ang konsul natin, lahat ngayon, no, sa ASEAN country are all very young. Ang gwagwapo at ang gaganda. Natutuwa naman ako kasi sabi ko, wow, iba na ngayon ang mga younger generation. I have seen that in ASEAN country. So, being an ambassador for so many years, consider mga ano na kayo, mga professional na at the same time, mga career, no? Na experience. Ano ang masishare mo sa mga bagong darating na mga natitrain na future, diplomats sa ating bansa?
Okay, I have noticed a tendency in the younger foreign service officers to be so, they think they passed the exam and that's it.
Okay.
Magaling na nga sila. Nandun na ako, magagaling sila, they wouldn't have passed. And yet, they carry themselves as if, they are the end-all and the be-all and canon.
Millennial character.
Yes. The thing is, I would like for the junior officers to have more humility. You know why? Because if you are not humble, then you are not capable of learning. And there's a wealth of things you can learn in the department on a variety of subjects. But, you're so full of yourself that you're not open to anything else. And that is the thing that has to be nurtured, especially in the foreign service. You have to be open to everything. You have to, at the last moment, maybe you'll have to change your style and things like that. But if you are, my way is the best way and all that, hindi pwede yan. You're not going to prosper.
So you have to be very flexible.
Yes, very.
In your attitude.
Yes, very flexible. And like I said, you have to be humble.
Yes. Hindi madali yan, ha?
Well,
Lalo when your mind is already set na,
yes,
kailangan pagkatapos ng graduate ko, alam kong gagawin ko, dapat yun ang patutunguhan ko. It's not the way it should be when you are with the foreign service. No?
Especially, I hear of cases where nag-aaway-away yung mga officers, inaaway yung mga ganun. I think there's something wrong there. Hindi kayo dapat nag-aaway-away. Dapat nag-uusap-usap. At dapat nakikinig naman.
Sabi mo sa interview natin, you will never, given a chance, you will never change, di ba? Your job as a ambassador here, parang napamahal na sa'yo, kahit sabihin natin, nasa ASEAN lang ang role mo dito. What is there in, that makes you feel na bakit napamahal sobra itong role mo dito? Considering hindi ito lucrative post, di ba? Hindi ka sa Tokyo, hindi ka sa Paris, hindi ka, samantay ito, ASEAN lang ito, tapos nasa dulo-dulo pa, imagine Myanmar at Laos. So it must be the people of the country itself that attracts you. Di kaya?
That's partly it. Because like, I noted earlier, they're some of the nicest people in the world. But it's also because maybe this is one of the few least developed countries in ASEAN. And part of what I'm studying is how to help out there.
Ayun.
How to help out, how to develop our... it's not just bilateral, but on a multilateral basis.
Yes.
There are a lot of countries helping out Laos in its development efforts. And it's about time that the Philippines also helped out as a fellow ASEAN country. So it's interesting because, they're very brave. As they are an LDC, so they get a lot of funding for their development efforts, and yet they are determined to graduate from LDC status by 2020. That's just a few years away. And by all accounts, they can do it, but they will need a lot of help.
So when you mention LDC, the fund comes from the ASEAN member also? Or from other
multilateral UN agencies? There are countries like especially nangunguna ang Germany, for instance. USAID is also there. So they're in on a lot of development programs.
So ang role ng Pilipinas siguro nasa manpower, no?
Yes,
magaling
yun ang
tayo
nakikita
dyan.
ko. But I think that as both ascending. Let me see. Kasi tayo, we are not an LDC anymore. We are a developing country.
Yes.
So we do have a capacity to help out. No? And I think we should begin to assert yung galing natin in other ways, in order to help out the other countries.
Pero di ba, Your Excellency, Ambassador Ante, kasi ang napansin ko dito, dapat lang talaga tayong mga ASEAN ang magtulungan. Kasi we know and understand one another better. Ang isang napansin ko dito, love for family, tsaka developing nga siya, tsaka kahit anong religious affiliation, kahit ano ang, di ba, ang nakikita natin lahi, Hindus man siya, Buddhist man siya, kasi ang ASEAN is diverse, may Muslim din, may Catholic, may Christian. Pero at the end of the day, masasabi mo ba, tayo ay magkakapatid, magkakapareho din pala tayo, because when you trace the historical background, we will realize mayroon pala tayong roots from one another. Di ba yun ang natitrace mo dito na that's the reason why maganda yung magkaroon tayo ng bonding and unity as an ASEAN?
Yes, that is the main reason we came up with ASEAN, and I think that is the reason why some of our workers are very well accepted here. We understand each other, despite the differences in culture. There are certain things that will always remain the same. For instance, the concept of hiya or the concept of face.
Okay.
Yun naiintindihan natin na hindi maiintindihan ng mga European, for instance.
Yes.
And, there are certain things that need not be spelled out. Naintindihan na natin.
Okay.
Of course, it's very different. There are so many things here that you have to be careful about.
Sensitive.
Because sensitive. You do not know, may nagagalit na pala or whatever. But nonetheless, we have an easier time of it than, let's say, the Westerners. And I agree. It's about time that we in ASEAN bond together because we understand each other and we are the ones which has a stake in our region.
Yes,
no?
yes.
And the way I see it, Laos is fulfilling its role as a member of ASEAN. Especially last year, you would have been very proud of them. They did a very, very good job. It was not easy being the host of the chair of ASEAN.
Imagine.
And they did very well. We were all proud of Laos.
Imagine, kasi sabi mo nga, a while ago, silang yung hindi napapansin. Pero imagine to accept to be the chair and our president even come here, bago pa lang siya noon, and they did it very well. That is really something. Itutuloy po namin na aming magandang discussion sa pagbabalik po ng Power Tonight with Elvira. Hello
everyone, for those who are always tuning in and listening to DCRJ 810 AM Radio Bandido TV. Here I am again, once again inviting you to watch and to listen also to Power to Unite with Elvira every Saturday from 5 to 6:30 p.m.
Watch and listen to Power to Unite every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Airing on Sky Cable Channel 224 and on all DTT boxes. Simulcasting online on Facebook and YouTube. Listen and watch on your mobile devices. Just search DZRJ Radio Bandido.
Ambassador Ante, napakaganda na sharing mo kanina, no? So I'm learning a lot, no, na yung huling sinabi mo na you are proud for the Lao government na they really did their job very well kasi hindi sila napapansin to accept the chairperson maging ASEAN, di ba? Na isang talagang sabihin mo na mahirap pero nagawa nila, no? So parang at the same time ready na sila because they, as you said, siguro guided din sila, naging challenge din sa kanila yon, di ba? So tama din na talagang ang aim ng ASEAN is really to band together, that we have to be the one to work together kasi mas marami tayo in common kaysa to accept Western dictate o Western kultura na hindi tayo yun, di ba? So ano ang masasabi mo as an, Philippine ambassador and then a member ng ASEAN? Ano ang ma-advise mo sa mga Pilipino, migrants going to work in ASEAN? Instead, do you feel na dapat dito na lang sila kaysa pupunta sa Europe o sa Middle East o sa Africa? What do you perceive na mas, kasi pag sa ASEAN, ang napapansin ko po, mas nire-respeto sila. Diba? Kasi they come here to work, yung sinabi mo nga, we started here sa health, no? They send nurses and doctors before yung Operation Brotherhood noon, tapos karamihan ngayon, naging educators, diba? So when President Duterte came here, nakausap sila, parang you feel na very proud kasi they appreciate the service we get, diba? So ano ma-advise mo o your message to the Filipino migrants working here, and also to the young future consul who will be trained to take over later on kung saan man sila maging ambassador?
I would like to say, first of all, to all of the Filipinos working here, that I am not the only ambassador here. You, each of you individually, are ambassadors. It is up to you to make sure that the good opinion of the Lao people for Filipino workers continues to be nurtured. So I would also like to appeal to the Filipinos here because there are a number of Filipinos who come here thinking that there are a lot of opportunities to work. Please do not forget that you are working in a host country. It is only proper that you follow their laws. Okay? Because a number of Filipinos think you can just go anywhere, work anywhere. Unfortunately, especially in ASEAN countries, not only in Laos, even in the Philippines, we have to keep track of all the foreign workers there. So it's not enough to say that you are good workers. It's not enough to say that, people think highly of you. You have to go about things the right way. I appeal to all Filipinos, please, follow the laws of your host countries. Thank you.
Ang advice po din yun sa mga future consul or future diplomat natin, kasi alam ko po, hindi ganun kadali ang isang career, di ba? You undergo a lot of, experience, encounter, hardship, isa din yan, alam natin, sometimes ang kalaban dito, yung loneliness, di ba, ang kalaban dito, yung hindi natin kaya kasi hindi mo accepted yung kultura dito, di ba? Anong ma-share mo dito as a career ambassador?
Well, for the young batches of officers and for those who want to be foreign service officers, what I can say is you have to be very open-minded. You have to be able to accept things as they are and then to analyze as it comes. Because we live in very challenging times. There's no denying that. We have a number of populist, even rightist governments cropping up here and there. There are fundamental changes that are going to happen in the United Nations, in the multilateral, regional spheres. There are also a number of challenges. What I would like to say is, you have to be open to what's happening, keep on studying, and also you have to keep track. A number of officers, they seem to think, no, this is my role, and then they limit themselves to that. No, keep on reading, keep on trying to find out what's happening all over the world, and then make up your own mind about how you're going to handle those things.
Napakaganda po ng sharing ni Her Excellency Ambassador Ante po. Siya po ang Philippine Ambassador dito sa Laos People's Democratic Republic. Reminding the Filipino people who wish to work in everywhere, not only in Asian countries, na yes, you are accepted, you are welcome, you are highly regarded, and you are being respected. Pero ang importante po na which struck me is follows the rules and regulation of each country. Na dapat bago po kayo sumala sa isang bansa, alam ninyo po, kaya ba ninyo sundin ang kanilang laws? Kasi kung hindi po, diyan po nagkakaroon ng problema. And it gives the embassy a lot of headache at the same time. Kahit gusto po kayo tulungan, dahil po nilabag ninyo, sometimes sila pa po ang napapabintangan. You don't realize the hardship, the heartache they have been encountering. Hindi po sasabihin basta ambassador, basta foreign career service, madali at magandang trabaho. Hindi po. Hindi nyo alam ang kanilang ginagawa. They really have to fight tooth and nail for you. Pinaglalaban po kayo. Kaya lang po, minsan may nilalabag kayo na wala po silang magawa. At maganda rin po ang senior niya sa mga future career diplomat natin, lalo na po sa mga young ones, kasi po hindi lang po pala sa foreign service nangyayari, even sa ibang sectors ng industry natin, sa government, sa private school, private companies, napansin po nila ang mga young millennials ngayon po, yes, they are all very talented, they graduated with high grades, pero maganda rin po mai-remind that they have to be prepared in the changing times, diba? They have to continue studying as what Ambassador said, na dapat parati din po sila nag-aaral, na dapat lagi silang handa sa kanilang sasabakin dito because ang world leaders po nagbabago pa iba-iba. Even reaction ng tao ngayon, yung uso ngayon na sinasabi natin, populist yan na po nangyayari sa Amerika, even sometimes in Europe, with the recent election coming, it might happen also. So kayo, kung saan man po kayo ma-assign, be prepared and always remain humble. Yan po isang natutuhan natin sa interview na ito, na which nagpapasalamat ang Power to Unite. Binigyan po tayo ng pagkakataon na iba interview because why is to encourage future, foreign service na maganda po, open to, kailangan po natin ng mga kabataan. Kailangan po natin new faces, who are willing to undergo, hardship, patience, understanding, but who are well-versed. Dito po ang personality napaka-importante. Hindi po madali, pero kakayanin po niya. Hanggang sa muli, dito po sa programa ng Power to Unite with Elvira.